Billy got it bumping.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face here on YouTube and also all of your favorite podcasting platforms. Be sure to follow us on social media. That's the Instagrams, the Twitter, the TikTok. We got a Facebook group, the whole nine. And if you are so inclined to go check out some of our merch, hit up our Linktree. It's Linktree/Boot to the Face, where you can go find all of our Get Edge as well. If you don't know where to find the show, you can always find it there. But clearly you found it because you fucking listened to me tell you. I'm Chris Rucker along with my host EJ Reed, and we are 1 week away from WrestleMania and a couple days removed from AEW Dynasty. So we got a lot to talk about. EJ, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Like you said, 'tis the season. WrestleMania right around the corner. Like you said, we got a lot to talk about.
So much wrestling. Jesus. AEW Dynasty just ended like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, man. The world of wrestling never stops. On to the next one.
Anything come out of the media scrum before we talk about AEW Dynasty? Did you see any of it? I didn't watch.
I never watched AEW scrums, WWE scrums. If something pops up, it'll come across my news feed one way or the other. But no, I didn't see anything of note.
Well, EJ, this past week was AEW Dynasty. If you want, actually, let's start from the beginning. We had as we were recording, we had a new champion crowned on NXT television. A new North American champion, Mr. Ricky Saints, defeated Perfect 10, and then immediately got attacked by Ethan Page.
You want my thoughts on it, or?
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say so. I thought you were gonna say something slick about Ethan Page, but
why would I do that?
Because I've heard you say some not so nice things about him in the past.
Really? I didn't know I had beef with Ethan Page.
Yeah, or maybe it was me. Oh, yeah, I mean, that was the right move. I kind of figured Sean Spears would be a transitional champion and whatnot. I mean, it's like he seems like the old guy who graduated high school, like 23, 24, still hanging around for some reason. The high school kids, like he just seemed always a little bit off with that North American title. But seems right at home with Ricky Saints. So I was a fan of the move, and All Eagle's been all over the place lately. Like you said, he attacked Ricky Saints, and then he popped up challenging Joe Hendry for the TNA Championship. Hey, he's getting his money's worth as far as his contract, I guess.
He said, when I was with AEW, the motherfuckers had me working one time every 3 months. I'm trying to get my shit in.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're lining Page and Saints up for probably Stand and Deliver, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Another thing that took place on NXT television, we actually talked about, broke the news here while we were recording, was Stephanie Vaquer relinquishes the NXT Women's North American Championship. And they'll have is it a 6-woman ladder match at Stand and Deliver?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think it's 6 women.
But the other thing that happened was Jordynne Grace came out, and then Jada Parker came out, both staking their claims to the title. And as much as I love Jada Parker on the microphone, I don't think her way of talking shit on the microphone will translate to bigger arenas. Like, cause she says little slick ass one liners, and the only way you can hear it is to be in NXT and only have 200 people in there.
Jada Parker?
Yeah.
Well, like, give me an example.
Like Jordan Grace cut her off, and she was like, she just got no respect. But she said it like so quick and under her breath, like she just has these little witty comebacks. I think somebody said, like, do we have a problem? She was like, we can. What's up? Just like, just real quick. She's real quick with it, but she talks so softly sometimes. It's like I don't know if that'll translate or not, but I think that fucking moveset she got will translate.
I mean, it hadn't translated for me, and you had to tell me about it. But like you said, she could just raise her voice as far as being more soft spoken and maybe let it breathe a little bit as far as like one liners or say it slowly, or I don't know. You never know what translates up to the main roster. Sometimes stuff works better up there than it does NXT. But it's always good to have quick wit. And we'll probably get into that a little bit later when we talk about the WWE Women's title match. But yeah, I think Jada will work. I'd like to see her get a run with the North American Championship before I see her jump to the world title, though. I think she's still got some work to do down in NXT.
Definitely. So it's looking like it'll be a triple threat match for the women's title at Stand and Deliver. But Kalani Jordan pinned Roxy. What is Roxy still doing in NXT?
She's kind of in wrestling purgatory right now. I thought she would have been up to the main roster going into WrestleMania season, because I know under this Triple H regime, sometimes they don't do like the Raw after WrestleMania, expected debut for NXT. Sometimes they'll do it a little bit before Mania now. They did it for Tiffany last year, and she didn't make Mania cards, so I thought they would have maybe done the same thing for Roxy. But maybe they have something for her at Stand and Deliver, and then maybe they will go the traditional route of doing a Raw after Mania, because they teased it, was used at the Chamber and whatnot, and she had like a few Raw matches, qualifier matches and whatnot.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, she's kind of stuck in purgatory right now. She's definitely main roster ready, I think. So guess we got to see how it plays out.
So that's NXT Tuesday night. Wednesday night comes around. It's the go home show for Dynamite. Did anything of note happen before I get to Britt Baker?
Yeah. Well, I think to kick it off, it was Swerve and Willow defeating Death Riders, and then later on they whooped his ass, put him on glass.
Sugar is what they said it was. He's at CM Punk school where he doesn't use real glass. That's
what they said online, or is that rumor?
Yeah, I've heard that's some kind of sugar glass or something like fake glass, which is
he wasn't bleeding.
Right, which is perfectly fine. I have no issue with them using fake glass. But I have an issue with their production team fucking zooming in on his back to show that he ain't even bleeding anywhere. The shit wasn't even like sticking in him. So what was the point of zooming in?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see any blood. So unless he's got skin like what's the Cage, the Marvel character?
Oh, Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is AEW's quality assurance department? Like, we've been talking about shit like this for years. Even in the opening match, we missed Willow push Jon Moxley through the table.
Yeah, they completely missed that. I don't know. The cameraman must have been on a break, or whoever's controlling the angles backstage. Yeah, that was a big moment too. Them missing Willow.
It's like you come on here and you talk about AEW, and it's like this right here took me at like so many times they'll have a big spot set up and the camera doesn't catch it, or the microphones will be fucked up, or the backstage segment won't work correct. It's like, come on, man. Like, I understand shit happening every now and then, but at least once an episode you could count out like two fucking things. It was just like, what are we doing? That spot with Willow throwing him through the table was a big fucking deal because that's what set up him attacking her later.
Yeah. That was a big spot to miss. I am going back to the glass iron. I mean, yeah, that's not as egregious as the missing the table spot because shit happens in wrestling all the time where they should bleed and they don't bleed across the boards, but definitely missing that table spot. He should have had
Yeah,
that.
but the point of zooming in is to show, like, man, he's really fucked up. But when you're looking through the camera lens and whoever's in the truck is looking on that screen, why zoom in right there? You're literally showing that the glass actually didn't fucking go in his body at all. Like the shit was just falling off of him.
For some reason I didn't really like stick in my mind that much, but like you said, definitely that table spot. Because I'm like, what the fuck happened? He was just laying on the table when the next time they showed him.
Then they got to show a replay.
Yeah, like you said, and they had to show the replay. But other than that, I thought it was a good way to set up Will or will he not win on Saturday or Sunday.
They also had the awkward encounter with Hangman and Swerve backstage where Swerve admits that he was wrong and Hangman should have burned his house down. And that's preempting whether or not Hangman's going to come out and help Swerve come Dynasty. Is Swerve a mastermind? Like, I don't have a mogul embassy anymore. I'm going against the Death Riders. Maybe I can fucking manipulate Hangman to come help me. This is the first time he's admitted any wrongdoing in that.
I didn't think it was that awkward. I thought it was actually pretty intriguing. Like you said, they're like bitter enemies, and I didn't expect Swerve to say that. He was like, I know. It was like a scene out of it was like some buddy cop film or something where they finally become friends or something like that.
Yeah. It was awkward because, like, Hangman just rushed in there like he had did something to him out of nowhere, just like yelling and shit. And then you got all these little fucking security guards coming, not doing a goddamn thing. They're just in the shot. But it was good, like, when they were going back and forth, and it was just so. The other awkward part was as soon as Swerve said, I know, all the security guards were like, what the fuck? And then they all just walked away too. Like, oh, we're good here.
I gotta go back and watch that. That'll make me laugh. Little
and
stuff
then
like
Hangman's little sassy walk off. What did you just say to me? I said, I know. He was like,
what could he really do though? Just still whoop his ass?
Right. Right. Like, you're not expecting something. You coming in ready to fight, like argue, and they're like, you're right. I was wrong. It's like, no. Tell me you weren't wrong. I got some shit I need to say to you.
But I'm with you. I don't want to see them as like odd fellow tag teams, like my enemies, my friend, or whatever. I want to see them. Like you said, I want to see him kind of manipulating Paige. I want to see them fight forever. I don't ever need to see them tag and whatnot.
And they kind of be like Rock and Stone Cold.
Rock Stone Cold tag. I remember Stone Cold, Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't win the championships, but they would help each other a lot too. Stone Cold came and helped The Rock win the fucking WWF title when he was out hurt. When Rock was trying to get it from Triple H and the whole corporation was in and shit, and Stone Cold came out with a chair. He looked like he was in bad shape too because he had just got his neck surgery. And he was throwing that chair around, man, and falling all over the place and shit. But Rock ended up winning the title. I think it was like No Way Out. It was after WrestleMania 2000 when Vince fucked The Rock over and turned on him.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing them in like scenarios like that. I just don't want to see them winning tag team belts.
Yeah. I didn't mean put them as a tag. I just meant like they're both baby faces most of the time. They don't like each other, but every now and then they kind of need each other. But then they go right back to fucking fighting. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a career-long rivalry. But every now and then my enemy might be my friend.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing little weaves of the story like that. I'm all for
that. News broke this week that the doctor is out. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. is no longer in AEW, and I mean, I don't want to say besides Cody, but besides Cody, like this is the first like pillar, I guess, one of the first people that they had back then that got released. I mean, Cody's on a different level. Like he helped start the fucking company, but as far as wrestlers that they signed, like, well, I guess what was the Marco Stunt? No, he doesn't count.
Joey Janela.
Yeah, he was towards the beginning also, but I never looked at him as like one of the ones they build the company around. But like as far as the MJFs and the Jungle Boys and the Darbys and Britt Bakers and shit like that, she's the first one to actually get released.
Mm-hmm.
Even Cody, like he just didn't sign another contract. He didn't technically get released.
Yeah. I mean, are there any details of the story? Because I could see her asking for her release. I mean, the writing was on the wall. When you sent me the story over, I wasn't shocked. Hadn't seen her in months. It's always stories about her and other talent backstage getting into it, her being difficult.
Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly. And she broke up with Adam Cole. I was about to say Adam Page. Adam Cole. So writing was kind of on the wall.
So when we went to Jacksonville and she won the title, there was probably like a 4 month span that I was like, she was really entertaining. She's coming out doing her little presentations, going up and down the fucking power rankings or whatever. And this person just beat this person, but I beat them like 3 weeks ago. Until she finally got a title shot and she won the title. I was all in. And then it was like as soon as she won the title, she just got super fucking annoying. And then like the more annoying she got, the more I realized like she's really not a good wrestler. Like she's having trouble keeping up with the more women they bring in, the further behind she fell. So I mean, she clearly
Well,
has a job she can fall back on. She's fucking dentist. Like they make good money. But she wants to keep wrestling. Like you see a WWE in their future, or you see more like TNA?
so maybe retroactively, we like, oh, she wasn't that good at wrestling, but she did have some good matches. But maybe it's like iron sharpens iron. Maybe she wasn't getting the reps and she regressed. Maybe that's what the case was.
Could be.
Because yeah, like you said, later on, like you said, she wasn't having good matches later on. So you got to sharpen those skills. And did you say if she wants to wrestle, or you say she does want to wrestle?
If she wants to, I don't know what she wants to do, but
Oh,
if she wants to come back, like you see,
hot take. I don't see her coming back. Like you said, she has a job to fall back on. And if she does decide to stick with it, I don't see her at like a TNA. But if the reports are out there, who knows if WWE would want to take her. So I think if she wants to stay in it, I think she would be gunning for WWE. I don't think she goes to TNA. I think it's like WWE or bust for her because she has that stuff to fall back on. But I don't know if WWE would want her.
well, she's gonna be at WrestleCon next weekend.
Oh, really?
Hmm. So she's
Well,
still not out of the wrestling game completely yet. Or this could have been like something she agreed to do before she asked her release or got released.
mm, yeah, it's nothing wrong with getting extra money. Like you said, she's got that dentistry business to fall back on, but she can get another check for wrestling appearances. Why not do that? Like we talked about Mandy Rose, even though she's got the OnlyFans money, you said she's making a wrestling appearance. So why not stack the money?
Speaking of Mandy Rose, I'm gonna try not to lose track of what we're talking about now, but I just got 2 free tickets to the Palms Pool Party WrestleMania Extravaganza for Night 2, featuring Shelton Benjamin, Mojo Rawley, Penelope Ford, and Mandy Rose for a watch party at the Palms.
Oh, so it's a nighttime pool party.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
it'll be day
WrestleMania
still.
starts at 3:30.
Yeah, it'll still be day. That's what's
So
that's what's up.
if I
How'd you
don't,
get tickets for that?
I know somebody that it was free. You just gotta get
Oh.
it. I just happened to be scrolling fucking Instagram sitting on the bowl earlier today, and it was like, Shelton Benjamin's gonna be at this place. And then I saw a picture of Mandy Rose and Penelope Ford. I'm like, wait a minute, the pool? And I was like, because I think I've been telling you, I was thinking about doing the Circa Mania party for Sunday where they'll have the watch party up there, but it's like $50 to get in. Well, this was free, so if it's free, it's for me.
Yeah, Vegas. If you do your research ahead of time, and they have so many guest lists that you can sign up for free, and they'll give you free tickets if you do it ahead of time, just because they make a shit ton of money elsewhere. It's how expensive everything else is. So there are deals if you look for it. And then if you're good at gambling, like you mentioned before, you get comped for hotels and all that good stuff.
Yep, my hotels are free, both of them.
There it is.
Back to, well, I guess we're done talking about Britt Baker. Did you watch Impact this week?
Yeah. Well, one more thing before we move to Impact. You didn't say what you think was going to happen with Britt.
I think she'll do like kind of like Matt Cardona does. I think she'll just pop up here and there at places and like TNA, like NWA, places like that. Just do a couple little shots here and there, and then go back to, because she always seemed like that dentist thing. Her actual career was something that she was into, and wrestling was just kind of like a dream. I don't know her, but the vibe I always got was like wrestling something I always wanted to do, but I have a fucking career over here. So if wrestling doesn't work out, so who knows? Maybe we'll see her back. Maybe we won't. Or maybe we can ask her at WrestleCon.
Time will tell.
But yeah, Impact. Did you see our boy Devin on there at all?
I did not. I was looking for him, and then my ADD kicked in. I forgot to keep looking for him. I was looking for him at the very beginning when they said like St. Joe. I'm like, oh shit, let me see if I see Devin in there. Then, I usually multitask while watching Impact, so I was doing some cardio in my living room while watching Impact. I didn't see him. Did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch Impact this week.
Yeah, it was okay.
I know you said that Ethan Page showed up and wants to fight Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, by the way, WWE's meet and greets. He's there. You can go see Joe Hendry at WWE The World, the only non-WWE wrestler there besides like NXT talent. Yeah, they got fucking Joe Hendry on there.
Are they like foreshadowing him making more appearances? Because we hadn't seen him since the Rumble.
I don't know. That's odd to me though, right? Like I know TNA and WWE are working together, but nobody else from TNA is on there.
That's very odd if we don't see him on TV in the near future, even if it's just NXT. That means they like just basically just pimping him out for their own profit. If he's like,
I'm sure he's getting a little bit of it too, though.
I hope so. Yeah, like you said, that's very weird. So maybe we'll see him on TV in the near future.
Friday Night SmackDown. All kind of shit broke loose.
Tell me about it.
This weekend, I met my girlfriend and her coworkers out for a drink after I came home, and I was just like, I'm fucking worn out. I'm tired. And of course, she's like, I'm drunk. Come pick me up. So went out, had a drink with them before I brought her back home. So didn't really get to watch SmackDown until the next morning. But the next day I was barbecuing. So it's kind of like SmackDown on fast forward. But I made sure to check out two segments. Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, and the main event of night one of WrestleMania, Roman, Seth, and CM Punk in a Paul Heyman on a pole match, apparently. Which one of these two do you want to get into first?
Start off with the lead, I guess, quote unquote. The Paul Heyman on the pole. It was weaved throughout the whole night.
Roman's just an asshole.
As
Like,
we established.
yeah, he's just a dick, this guy. Like, how is he a babyface?
Fans like assholes, man. Rock didn't get over until he was an asshole nation leader. Stone Cold was beating the shit out of Bret Hart and attacking him from which way before he became a babyface. Just it was a turn in the way fans taking these wrestlers in the late '90s and whatnot, and it's how it's been ever since. Like John Cena was over once he was being a douchebag rapper, and once he turned white meat babyface, people started turning on his ass. Only person that's worked so far on a big scale is Cody, and these fans are fickle. They probably turn on him eventually.
Roman's just a dick. So Punk comes out and tells Paul Heyman, like, the favor is gonna be, I want you in my corner at WrestleMania. And of course Roman's like, huh, he wouldn't even do that if I let him. And Paul's like, sorry, Tribal Chief, like, I gotta do it. And Roman looked like he's about to put hands on Heyman till Punk attacked him. But my favorite character in all of this, and I never thought I would fucking say this, was Seth Rollins.
Go on.
He was fucking hilarious. He came out before Punk. Was just like, he told Roman, he said, I just want to see what's going to happen because you should have let me take this motherfucker out and you didn't. So you better get what's coming to you. Just give it time. And then what did Rollins do when Punk said the favor is I want you, Heyman? Rollins sat over there laughing. They put the camera on him and he just real slightly shakes his head and goes, I told you. It was so subtle and so good, and it made me bust out laughing. I had to rewind it. He was just like, I told you.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. Seth, stretching out his comedic chops.
Of course, Punk ends up attacking Roman and hitting him with the go to sleep. It goes off the air with Seth just kind of laughing like, it ain't got nothing to do with me. So Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we got to kind of fast forward to Raw also, just this angle. Seth comes out and tells Heyman, I'm gonna beat your ass, basically. Punk runs out. Seth puts the boots to him and goes to stomp Paul Heyman and stops and says, now you owe me a favor. And before that, Seth was speaking a lot of truth, talking about Punk and Roman and how they've treated Paul Heyman up until this point. Like, I'm the only motherfucker that ain't treating you like shit. Watch this. I can stomp you right now. I didn't. I talked about it weeks ago that I thought Heyman was going to leave with Rollins. Are they just like making us think that's what's going to happen?
See, I don't know how I feel about this because with the CM Punk and Paul Heyman Paul Heyman being in CM Punk's corner, everybody was kind of predicting that. I don't know if you still get to catch Busted Open from time to time, but they'll have fans calling. I usually only listen to the weekend show, but like one of the weekend shows, they have fans calling in from time to time asking what they think the favorite will be the past 3 or 4 weeks, and it'll always be that listener saying that CM Punk is gonna ask Paul Heyman to be in his corner. So that came to fruition. So I kind of feel like a lot of fans were predicting that to happen anyway. And then I've been hearing some things about Seth Rollins, being picked by Heyman to be the next Heyman guy. So a lot of times WWE will stay on their path as far as their storytelling. So they probably have writers that hear whispers and stuff like that too. So I kind of, you want it to make sense, and they always like to throw some Easter eggs in there. So I kind of think they kind of focused a little bit too much on the Seth part of it, if that's the way they're gonna go, with him like being so blatant about mentioning all the fucked up things both guys have done, And then he teased doing the stomp and said, I could have done it, but I just, if they want to kind of like swerve us and have Paul go with Seth, I would have liked them to get physical with him and stomp him so that could kind of throw us off the scent and then still do it.
Well, Seth is an architect. He's a master manipulator. He could just be same thing I was saying about Swerve and Hangman. He could just be throwing shit out there to get the other ones paranoid about whether or not they can trust Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
Seth's got to win this match, by the way.
You think so?
He has to. He can't keep losing all the time. Losing to Cody, losing to Punk. He was in the main event last year, lost that with The Rock and Roman, then turned around and lost the belt the next night. Like, goddamn, give my boy a win.
I think between now and Mania, they could still maybe throw us off the scent if they're going to go with Heyman and Rollins. But yeah, like you said, now that I think about it, he probably does have to get the win, or it's not a good look. Who's looking at the lights, Punk or Roman?
It's got to be Punk.
Why has it got to be Punk? You want to
Roman
make him a bigger star?
Roman ain't looking at them lights 2 WrestleManias in a row. You shitting me?
You say you want Seth to be a bigger star. I think a pin over Roman would be bigger than a pin in Punk.
One of the reasons I'm a big fan of Seth is how petty he is towards Punk. And I agree. Pinning Roman might be better for him, but he's already done that. He needs to pin Punk.
He pinned Tribal Chief Roman?
Not Tribal Chief Roman, but he's pinned Roman Reigns multiple times.
He needs to pin the Tribal Chief.
He's taken the title from him a couple times. The night that all 3 members of the Shield held the belt, Seth took it from Roman, and then Ambrose cashed in on him.
I remember that. I mean, I don't think Punk has gotten. Yeah, he did. See, Drew McIntyre pinned him. I don't think Punk has gotten pinned since he returned. But McIntyre beat him at SummerSlam. So it's not like we haven't seen it done since the second run. I don't know. It could be either one. Or I don't know if Rollins wins.
Back to SmackDown. We had another confrontation between Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. And immediately you could see that the crowd in Chicago had gotten into Charlotte's head. And it looked like something was like, if you go back and watch, before Tiffany really got to her, it looked like something else had gotten to her. And Charlotte all of a sudden was like stumbling over her words, and she couldn't even get the cheap little, isn't that right, Chicago? It was like, boo, bitch, we ain't trying to hear that. We know this is where we live. We're still not cheering. And then Tiffany just laid into her and said a bunch of cool shit about, like, the fans don't like you, blah, 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 this whole thing. But then she said, you just like your goddamn daddy.
Man.
And you just like him outside the ring, too. 0-3. And then Tiffany rolled out of the ring like she wasn't supposed to say something. And Charlotte's talking about, well, why is Kaiser in my DMs? And it was just awkward and weird. But you know something, EJ? This isn't the first time stuff like this has happened with Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, when it didn't happen with her and Becky.
Multiple times when Becky started coming up to be the man, and once she kind of surpassed Charlotte, I felt like, again, I don't know what the script is, I don't know any of that, but just watching it, like I've watched wrestling long enough to see when shit ain't going the way it's supposed to. It just seemed like she was always like sandbagging with Becky, and at the time they're supposed to change the belts, and she threw the fucking belt on the ground. There was plenty of promos where she's doing the same thing to Tiffany too, where they'd be trying to get their lines in, and she would talk over them and yell and shit. And it's like, bitch, what are you doing? Like, this is not the script. So Tiffany kind of went into business for herself, is what the rumor is. And the rumor also is that backstage, Charlotte's taking way more heat in this feud than Tiffany is. And people think Tiffany was wrong but they think she's right for doing what she did because Charlotte's been kind of big timing her.
Yeah, I thought this whole segment was a hot mess, but I will give Tiffany credit. She did a whole lot. I'm still not a fan of her promos, but she did a whole lot of better of holding her own in this one. So I do give her credit for that. But the reason it was a hot mess is because of Charlotte. From what I could see, like you said, who knows backstage? You saying that Tiffany is getting some heat. She went off script, but as far as just wrestling is always at its best when you throw a little realism in there and bring real life stuff in and incorporate it in the storyline. But I don't like too much of the pulling behind the curtain and going shooting and going to business for yourself because it made it sloppy like we saw this past Friday. Like I said, Charlotte's the main reason because like you said, she was talking over Tiffany and why is your voice so squeaky, Tiffany? Like, come grow up. You're almost 40 years old, and then he's in my DM. I thought that was tacky, but Tiffany got her good. It was like you see a third time go around. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it was coming off awkward because they were talking over each other and it wasn't planned out. But the thing is, like, Charlotte's been doing that the whole beef that they've had. Like every promo they do, she's been doing that, and Tiffany just kind of shuts up and lets it happen, and then that's when everybody's like, "Oh, Tiffany got smoked. She got smoked on the microphone. Like Charlotte's killing her. She's been..." And so I guess Tiffany said, "Well, fuck. I got something for that
ghost
ass."
in her house. Rucker's got ghost in it. I said, Rucker, you got ghost in your place.
No, she's going in the bathroom back there. Normally, I got the background little filter on or whatever, but I don't have it on today.
I was just fucking with you. Go ahead. I didn't mean to read.
But yeah, I mean, I guess she said enough is enough. Like y'all can quit talking about I'm getting smoked. I'm gonna do the same thing she's doing. I wonder if they went. I wonder if they threw hands backstage.
I think Tiffany is a good young wrestler. For some reason, I think Charlotte would beat the shit out of her if they did.
Really?
Yeah.
Tiffany was a gymnast. She's an athlete, and she's a little. She looks like she's a little stronger than Charlotte. Charlotte got the reach though, but I mean, it ain't like Charlotte grew up fighting her fucking self either. Like she's Ric Flair's daughter.
Yeah, all those gym flips ain't gonna help you catch these hands. I mean,
I don't think Charlotte can fight.
I don't think either one can fight. It'd probably just be terrible. Like I don't want to be sexist, but like cat fight. So I don't know. I know Charlotte's got the height and got the weight,
got the reach. But if Tiffany grab a hold over, it's over.
I don't know. Maybe they. I wish I could be a fly on the wall to see what happened once they step behind the curtain after the segment. Because Charlotte can't be that much of an unprofessional.
Shit.
You said Triple H.
Hurricane Helms and Triple H and fucking Jimmy Wang Yang, all the motherfuckers back there.
What's his name? Jason Jordan.
Yeah. He's like, watch my neck. That sucks about him having to be a foot. I know this is completely off topic, but if you were Jason Jordan and you had to retire from the ring at such a young age, would you be able to be a producer and still be around it like that? Like your career didn't even really get started.
Yeah, I can't say because I haven't been through that situation, but the first thing off the top of my head, hell yeah, give me that check.
What else I'm gonna do? I want to be a wrestler my whole life.
Exactly. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like I gotta still kind of hurt him to see people living his dream, but it's still good to be around.
It's like a lot of the producers and wrestlers, they ended up retiring or just because they were older or they, had an injury, but they all had like full careers. He was just getting started. I mean, he just revealed his Kurt Angle's son.
Yeah, I hated that, but I wish they would have kept him and Gable around together a little bit longer. They split him up, then they get split up through the draft. I know he did Shorty G or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were, a little kind of a throwback to the world's greatest tag team. I don't know if that was on purpose, but yeah, I think they had more juice left in the squeeze with those two.
Did the segment on Friday get you more excited for Tiffany versus Charlotte, or you still don't care?
Yeah, it's ramped up now that we might have some actual animosity, but this might be contrived. Maybe what if this is all a mastermind plan behind the scenes, and they really love each other backstage, but from what we could tell, it looks like there may be some real animosity there. So I am intrigued to see what happens at Mania, just to see if we see some live rounds in the ring.
WrestleMania is not the place to do no live rounds, but
why not?
We'll see. Like,
why not?
I mean, because what if you knock a motherfucker out for real? Because you're in there trying to prove a point. Like, what if Tiffany's supposed to lose and she tags Charlotte, knocks her out? Charlotte can't get up, and now Tiffany got to keep the belt. You're fired.
Hey, well, the show goes on. Remember at what was it, 39? The Miz.
Oh, when Shane McMahon
Shane McMahon. It was Shane McMahon, the Miz, and Snoop.
And Snoop had to bring his old ass out there with that slow motion, that high ass people's elbow. He did.
It's terrible. Shit. Have we seen Shane since? I don't think we've seen him since.
I thought he was in charge of the Death Riders.
I don't even want to talk about that. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how this match goes with Tiffany and Charlotte. I told you before, this is a big show improve moment for Tiffany. I don't think she's going to win, but it's going to show if she can, hold her own in the spotlight going forward. See if she will have another title match for the World Championship at a WrestleMania in the future. So we shall see.
Before we get to AEW Dynasty, two things I want to talk about for Monday Night Raw. The triple threat match of the women that Adam Pearce announced, and I don't like it. It makes no sense. You make Bianca wins. I've explained this every week. Bianca wins. She gets a title match. They have a title match. Rhea gets mad that she thinks Bianca's not cheering for her and loses the belt. Throws a hissy fit for weeks. Adam Pearce says, "What are you complaining about? You've got a title match. You just got to sign the fucking contract." And then he puts Bianca in as the referee. Well, we all know shit's going to go haywire now. And now because of that, Rhea's in a triple threat match with Io and Bianca.
So I watched Raw, but did they officially announce that? Because I was like multitasking when Raw was on. So.
They signed the contract, all three of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse because we've talked about this the past 2-3 weeks, but for anybody new that's listening, I hadn't liked this the whole time. It's super convoluted. Like we said, it just kind of feels like they're inserting Io in there just for the hell of it. And we both have always gave Io her props, how good of a wrestler she is. But this seems like they just kind of tossed her in here just for the sake of it. The match, I'm sure, will slap once we get to the match and then the bell rings. But why? We don't have backgrounds in writing for WWE, but I feel like both of us could have written a more, streamlined way to get to this match. Like, even if they were going to go to a triple threat route, why they have to do it in such a complicated manner?
Why have Io win the belt when they just could have had them two have a double count out or where they couldn't answer the bell or something like that, instead of having all this shit where, I mean, Rhea apparently is Teflon because people are booing Bianca now instead of Rhea when Rhea's the one acting like Bianca's completely in the right. So when she crashes out, I just want you motherfuckers to know it's your fault. When she loses her shit, and it's the WWE. You know what? WWE is just full of truth-telling heels now. And that's what Bianca's going to be. Naomi, truth teller. Kevin Owens, truth teller. Drew McIntyre, truth teller. Seth Rollins, truth teller. John Cena. All these people telling the truth about what they don't like, and that makes them heels. And because Bianca doesn't like the fact that Rhea whine and cry her way into it, people are booing Bianca now? Are you fucking shitting me? So when she loses her shit, and the last thing you want is an athlete of the caliber of Bianca Belair being ruthless, whew, I don't think the division's ready for that.
So overseas, I don't think it was warranted for her being booed, but I think now that they come back to the States, I think they kind of lean into it to maybe kind of get her to, be more on the heel side. Because she's been saying some like little slick comments that are like, all right, that was a little bit sassy, even though, like you said, she might be justified, but like, that's not something a babyface would say.
What is she supposed to do? Just sit there and let Rhea keep whining and crying and bitching and getting her way? Like, I want a match for this is WrestleMania. I want a one-on-one title match. I won the Elimination Chamber. I beat 5 other motherfuckers to get this opportunity. And you throwing a hissy fit? And now you're in the match too? She's got every right to say some slick shit. Meanwhile, Rhea's just sitting over there waving at her and shit after getting her fucking way. She should have just knocked her ass out.
For storyline purposes, I'm with you. She's justified, but if you like through and through, if you're Jane Cena, quote unquote, and you're like, I don't care if she's won, fuck it, put her in the match. It seemed like she was kind of pushing back on Rhea being in the match. But if like you're one of those take all challengers, she would have said, I don't care. Throw her in the match. That would have happened like as soon as Rhea put her, nose in the business. She should have said, all right, I want her to be in the match. I don't care. I'll beat both of them.
I disagree. I agree. I agree with Bianca.
That's what like I said, I agree with her too, but I feel like they're purposefully playing like shades of gray right now with her. And like you said, they're probably gonna, at some point make her go back to the NXT Bianca.
But explain to me in what world Rhea Ripley should be getting cheered over Bianca right now. She lost. And she threw a fit. Nobody cheated. It's not like Bianca hit her with a chair. You were talking shit. Io said, oh, really? Hit your ass with a moonsault and took your belt. You got nothing to complain about. If anybody's a heel in this situation, it's Rhea. And I ain't heard one fucking boo. I'm going to boo the shit out of her at WrestleMania.
Oh, there you go. Hey, man, if I knew, I'd be a millionaire to know the reason why fans do what they do. Fans could just be dickheads sometimes.
I'm going to be a dickhead. Well, I ain't going to say a dickhead, but make sure I let everybody know I don't like Rhea Ripley. Io, love her. Bianca, love her. Rhea, ugh, get out of here. Beat it.
Well, it's set in ink now. It's funny. Adam Pearce, he was like, the Judgment Day is Rhea Ripley.
Did he say that? Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, at the beginning when he was introducing them, I did catch that. So, shout out to Adam Pearce.
Another thing that took place on Monday, Jey Uso finally was in the building again with Gunther after Gunther wiped his brother's blood all over him, zip-tied Jey to the fucking bottom rope, and just beat the dog shit out of Jimmy. Me, along with a lot of other people, just thought, man, when Jey gets in the ring, he's about to beat the fuck out of Gunther. And he didn't. Cut a really good promo. What'd you think about the promo? Do you think he should have threw hands with him, or you think it was just kind of like a Gunther realized, like, oh fuck, I'm gonna piss this boy off?
I thought the promo was solid. I like his emotion. I really like how he poured his emotion into it. But while he's doing the promo, all I could think about is, man, Jimmy Uso's a better promo than Jey. I don't know why my head went to that.
Really?
Yeah, that's all I was thinking about. I'm like, I like his emotion, but I don't know, man. Jey's promos don't do it for me for some reason. He's got the riz, he's got the charisma. Fans love him. I'm all for him winning at WrestleMania. He's over. I don't know. His promos don't do it for me still.
It's you and one dude on Twitter I read that was like, that promo was ass. I'm like, it's always.
I said it was ass. I didn't say it was ass. I'm just saying,
you're the first person I've heard that's like, I mean, it was somebody on Twitter, so it might not even be a real person. But you're the first actual person I've heard that's like, it was all right.
That's it's solid. I like I said, I like how emotional he brought the emotions in, so makes us want to see him win it even more. But this is his style. I know it's his style, but during half of it, he was like pouring out because it's the cadence. He was doing like a heartfelt emotion, but he was doing this little cadence and fans were saying yeet, and he's like saying some heartfelt shit. So if he were to switch the cadence up and like take that element out of it, I think it would have been a little bit better for me.
Yeah, he was trying to tell him too to like quit yeeting. Like you could see him making little hand motions, and most of them did, but it was still like one or two fucking assholes in there just screaming shit every time he would stop talking. But I thought it was really good. I thought it was one of his best promos since Bloodline, Jay. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of all that shit he was going through with Roman when he was cutting promos in the Thunderdome. And I was like, ooh, we getting Bloodline Jay back? The right hand man, Jay? Gunther's. You ain't see what happened to Daniel Bryan and fucking Cesaro and all them, Gunther? Your ass gonna be on AEW All In next year.
And if you want to compare it to another thing, but if you want to compare like a promo to like if you were going through the situation in real life, of course you're gonna, if you're that heated, you're gonna fumble some words. But I know if he were to want to go back and repeat it again, he probably would want to have that back where he's not fumbling some of the words.
I think that's one of the charm of Jay and a couple other people's promos is like it sounds like people talking to you as opposed to a WWE written promo. It literally sounded like he watched his brother get his ass kicked last week and he had to tell his mama he was scared of another grown man. So like, I don't know. That's one of the reasons I've always liked Jay's promo style is just it seems more authentic than, these are my lines. I have to say them.
I think that's the art of like top tier people on the mic from history of wrestling. They can hit their points, but go in and out of like just being real and authentic promo, but still hit the points that they need to hit. It's a art, man.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's all of the WWE talk. Well, I do have one thing because I mentioned him earlier, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Kevin Owens.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put that on my list.
Comes out and I'm not trying to be funny, but the irony of him giving Randy Orton a pile driver and Cody and Sammy and trying to hurt everybody's neck, and then in real life he gets a fucking neck injury and maybe might have to retire. And I'm not trying to make a joke out of it. I'm just saying that's fucking ironic as hell.
Is it? I haven't gone like dirt sheets as we established before. I'm on a few fan pages on Facebook, but they don't really have spoilers on there. Or they don't have spoilers on there. I unsubscribe. It's just more so talking about results on the fan pages. Is that like what's floating around that this might be career ending?
Yeah, even he said he didn't know if or when he'll be back.
I thought that he was just doing that, kind of milk it a little bit, and he's still out there doing a promo. But if that's the case, wow, I didn't realize it was that serious. I want to know if this is like an accumulation injury or if it happened at like a house event or something like that.
I mean, I could be wrong because, like I said, I watched SmackDown the next morning with a bit of a hangover, but I thought he said he had noticed the injury and finally got it checked out, and they were like, "Yeah, we need to." But I thought he said he'd been working with it for a while. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what he said. Like he's been in a little bit of pain for a while. I don't think it's something that just happened like a week ago.
Yeah, so it's probably wear and tear. Hey, we've seen that happen to the best. Edge had to retire for 11 years. We might not see Danielson because of the neck. So I never know, what is reporting from them is true or if they're just, the natural wrestler in them wants to, they hurt, of course, but want to like put it on limbo how hurt they are just because it's the case they come back. But hopefully he's able to get the surgery and able to come back because he's been cooking. He's the only reason why I enjoy the past year of Cody, basically. And then, of course, the Cena stuff. But before he got the Cody, we all complained about how boring that shit was, and KO was able to ramp that shit back up. So, yeah, that'd be terrible if see him in the ring again. So, hopefully, modern medicine and technology will pull through, and he'll get that taken care of, and maybe we'll see him sometime next year if everything goes right. I'm hoping.
I won't lie. When KO first got to NXT WWE, I was just like, who the fuck is this guy wearing basketball shorts? And he doesn't look like he could play a lick of basketball while he's wrestling. I remember I couldn't stand him for the longest. And then it was after the Universal title run. It was like him and Sami Zayn had both turned heel. And they were just so fucking funny together. And I start watching his matches and I'm like, this big motherfucker can actually, like, I don't know how it took me that long, but I guess when you just don't like somebody, you don't really appreciate how good they are, like when you're looking at it. And eventually I was like, man, Kevin Owens can go. Like his matches are good. Good, good. Like name a bad Kevin Owens match. I don't think you can. You can't find one. Um, I've grown a big appreciation for Kevin Owens over the past 5, 6 years. So yeah, this one's it sucks. It's kind of like when Big E got hurt, man. It's like you see somebody
Yeah.
doing so well and like getting over and just the guy was in the main event with fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin in Dallas. Then he main evented again against the Usos. KO Mania. Damn. It was gonna be what, number 7?
Yeah, man. I would always look forward to those shirts too.
This is gonna be the first time I got a shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was gonna get a KO Mania shirt this year.
Damn. Yeah, I guess he have to put this one on pause, and the next one he shows up with, he can't like skip Manias. He has to actually have the ones that he was at. So yeah, that streak is broken. That's unfortunate, man. But health is wealth, so glad he caught it before he had like an accident in the ring, like
Yeah,
God forbid, like a Chris Bay situation. That would have been terrible.
yeah. Well, I won't be able to get a KO Mania shirt, EJ. But if you or anybody you know has wrestling t-shirts starting this coming Monday, WrestleMania t-shirt week will be in full effect every day leading up, or as many shirts as you have. Post a different shirt every day. Use the hashtag WrestleMania t-shirt week. And the week I get back from Vegas, the winner will be selected and they will win a brand new inbox AEW. Who makes their shit? What are those people's name? Jazzwares. Sting, Ripper from All In. You'll get a brand new one. Not this one. This one's mine. But you'll get a brand new one. Still in the box. Never been opened. I'll send it to you. Might throw some more shit in there. But yeah, WrestleMania t-shirt week. All you got to do is Monday, post a picture of your favorite t-shirt that you own, or you could be wearing it. Hashtag WrestleMania t-shirt week. That's one entry. Do it every day leading up to WrestleMania. Monday through Sunday. Hopefully it'll be a big one. I'll make sure to blast this all over social media this week.
Now, do they have to be WWE shirts, or it could be any wrestling
Now
shirt?
it's just a wrestling shirt. It doesn't even have to be a fucking. It could be an indie wrestler shirt if you want. The goal is to get attention on one, wrestling t-shirts, on two, um, positive positive feedback on social media leading up to WrestleMania. And usually, like, whoever's got the most obscure shirts usually win. Because people are like, oh shit, look at that shirt.
Nice. Hey, like Record said, get on it. Post those shirts.
Let's talk some AEW Dynasty. Where I don't want to talk about the whole card because we're already an hour in and like we'll be here till midnight. But
It's like the pay-per-view.
I'm gonna start with the bad. The bad is the length of time that these pay-per-views are. You have What do they got? 8 pay-per-views a year now? Maybe more than that.
Like 8 or 9.
Tony, I get you looking out for us. You know, people out there spending $50. You're trying to make sure they get their bang for their buck. Put the pay-per-view on Saturday then. Because I can't be awake. And that pay-per-view lasts until midnight 30 on the East Coast. On a Sunday night, by God. I felt like there were... First off, those Owen Hart matches didn't need to be on the show.
I agree.
Because if you take I think the total match count was 13 if you added in 0 hour. That's a lot of fucking matches, man. You could have took both of was it 2 or 3 Owen Hart matches? I think
3.
it was at least 2. All right, you could have took that off. I didn't need to see Chris Jericho and Bandito.
Well, you know how I feel about Chris Jericho. I don't need to see Chris Jericho at all.
All right, you take them 3 matches off. Show's over at 11 o'clock. Other thing, with the show running so long, you have to rush so much stuff. For example, Kenny Omega gets the win in the triple threat match. Great match. Okada comes out to confront him. Omega doesn't even have time because he's getting cued from the referee like, hey, we got to go. We got to get to the next match. Omega came back months ago and he said, I'm not here for revenge. Then he saw Don Callis and that shit went out the window. But Okada, the Bucks, and Jack Perry tried to kill this dude. And it's the first time you see an Okada since you've been back and you're just going to walk away from him?
Didn't you just say he didn't want revenge?
Yeah, but what happened when he saw Don Callis?
Maybe Don Callis sets him off differently than his old rival Okada.
But they didn't even have like a legit face-off. Like Omega left the ring damn near before Okada got in there. And Okada's just standing there with his dick in his hand like, now what?
But I don't think that was due to time constraints. I just think that's due to whatever booking they had for that situation.
I don't know, brother. I think a couple times after matches, it looked like stuff was being rushed. And then the whole Bandito and Chris Jericho thing. Like, 1, it's a match nobody gives a fuck about. 2, since when can a referee that's not involved in the match go listen to not only a fan, but the family member of a motherfucker that's in the match? Oh yeah, he had a baseball bat. Nobody saw Jericho hit him with the bat because, you know, it's 2025. Like, ain't no way they could watch an instant replay on the fucking video monitor. They restart the match, and then the woman cheats right in front of the referee. That leads to Jericho losing. Pop Jericho right upside the head.
I thought the rest back was turned during that.
When Jericho grabbed old girl, Aubrey Edwards is right there.
I can't remember, so I believe you.
Now, Aubrey ain't the referee, but she's the referee that told the referee to restart the fucking match. It just. All right, that's all the bad. The good, the fucking wrestling. AEW's got some of the best, like, most athletic fucking wrestlers, men and women. I loved Will Ospreay and Kevin Knight. I loved Tony Storm and Megan Bank up until the end of it. Mercedes, great match again. Like, she just finds different ways to pin people now. It's like she's at home just, how can I wrap a motherfucker up and not let their shoulders get off the ground? I loved Omega, the triple threat with that. Like, they just got so many good wrestlers. It's just, they just need to tweak a couple little things. And I know I'm sounding negative about it. It was a good show. I have enjoyed AEW over the weeks. I fucking loved MJF cheating for the Hurt Syndicate and then tweeting out we hurt people.
I didn't see his tweet. That's funny, though.
Yeah. But sorry, I'm just fucking destroying the whole card, man. What'd you think about it?
Oh, I thought I thought it was a great card. I mean, not great, but really, really good, especially for it being a B pay-per-view. I mean, it's Dynasty. It's not the Big Five. It's not Double or Nothing. And I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed all the matches. Even the Jericho Bandito. I'm not a fan of Chris Jericho, but Bandito made it slightly more enjoyable than I do Chris Jericho matches. But I'm with you. Tony. It seems like Tony Khan is just a stuff. Like he digs his heels into something and won't let up. Maybe it's stuff that he does tweak that we just don't see because of the stuff that he puts his foot down on. Because like I'm with you. These pay-per-views are just way too damn long, especially for a B pay-per-view. And I understand it. He wants to give the people the bang for their bucks as you're paying money for it. And like, having a subscription to Peacock and you get everything free. So he's trying to give the fans their money's worth, but still you have fatigue, even if you're at home watching. And I'm sure the fans in attendance have fatigue of watching all of that wrestling. So even though I enjoyed all the matches, like you said, we could have done without the Owen Hart Cup matches, even though I do think Omega should have, not Omega, Ospreay should have been on the card somewhere or another. Maybe it was a different match. You could maybe save Mercedes, the main event, your Dynamite. Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher definitely shouldn't have been on the card. I don't think Jericho should have been on the card. You could be in that sweet spot of having 6, 7 to 9 matches on the main card, maybe even 7 to 8 on the main card, and still give you
too many.
7 to 8.
I think,
but I also
I
think
think
like,
7, 8 matches is perfect.
Yeah, because I think even with WWE, I know a lot of times, especially with their B pay-per-views, less is more. So they'll have 5 matches, but I think they could even have like 1 more match, maybe even 2. Like I said, I think 7 to 8 would be a sweet spot. So I
don't care how many matches you got, just 3 hours. That's all I need on pay-per-view. I don't need 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah, no pay-per-view should be running over 11 Eastern time because I'm Midwestern Central time, and I'm like, how are these East Coasters still up right now? Because it's almost midnight here, and I'm like, wow, I didn't doze off, but I start getting heavy a little bit. But yeah, I enjoyed all the actual matches, and I know you may have not been happy with a lot of the results, but I feel like I was fine with all the results just because it's a B pay-per-view. I like in a vacuum. I like Moxley winning. I don't like I still don't like the Death Rider storyline, but I agree with Moxley winning at this pay-per-view because like if you did all of this for now, why take it off him right now? Just keep on the path y'all are doing because y'all are set on that anyway. I thought Tony winning over Mariah May was the right choice. Not Mariah May. Megan Bayne was the right choice to do because he just gave Megan Bayne kind of a spotlight. She just got a company. I don't think this match should even happen at Dynasty. I think they should have waited, but Tony had to win. And I like the way she won. She didn't, Megan still looks strong. She, like you said, she got a roll-up pin over her. Also, the one match I didn't predict right, I liked the way it went. I thought the Rated FTR might have got the trios belts, but they made it seem like Dax was crashing out, and you thought Dash. Wow, I keep mixing their WWE names up with the AEW. Cash Wheeler. You thought Cash Wheeler was like trying to be the voice of reason, and they both beat Edge's ass or Cope's ass. I know you was happy about that. You're not a Cope fan.
Yeah. I'm always here for an Edge beatdown.
Well, it's ass, so I'm guessing we might see Cope and Christian reunite somewhere down the line. But I like that. So one thing I didn't mind, but I'm like, I wasn't like happy about it because I didn't want Swerve to lose straight up. Like, why did the Bucks interfere again?
Yeah, you got to tune in tomorrow night.
I don't like those motherfuckers. You already know that, so they better have a good explanation.
Yeah, I will disagree with you on one point. Like, I don't think the level of the pay-per-view should dictate what the outcomes of matches are going to be. If that's the case, why do I need to pay $50 to watch Dynasty? Like, if there's no chance in a title changing hands or something, a title that actually matters, um, then why am I paying for it? Like,
That's
yeah,
true.
one of the world champions should be able to lose on Dynasty.
That's true, but not you, the collective you. People been praising the Triple H era for these B pay-per-views for staying the course and not doing random stuff. So I want to give AEW the same benefit of the doubt.
But how do we know what the core? Honestly, like, I come away from a lot of WWE pay-per-views like, okay, like what was the point of that?
Okay,
Like,
so that's why I say you. I know you don't feel that way. I'm just saying the collective people on Twitter and stuff give WWE praises with all of these, especially because they go to overseas with a lot of these B-level pay-per-views, so the energy level is up. But yeah, I'm with you. Like you can't, you got to have some, twists and turns at some of these pay-per-views, or why even tune in?
right? Why are you booking it? If
And
we're only booking to get to WrestleMania and Royal Rumble and All In and Double or Nothing, like, then why am I watching all this other shit? Like,
yeah,
give me something.
but
Um,
you can't do it every year though, because then people
right?
expect to see it because they did Swerve won last year. People didn't expect him to beat Joe. He won last year at
Yeah,
Dynasty.
but if you would have put him winning at Revolution last year, it would have got overshadowed by Sting's last match.
So you still got to tune in. If like you wouldn't have seen Swerve if you didn't tune in last year. I was in the actual building that last year. Actually, now
Yeah.
that I think about it, and people went ape shit when Swerve got the belt.
So the thing I didn't like the Young Bucks, but like you wasted the moment of Hangman actually helping Swerve. He wasn't. Who knew what he was going to do to begin with? But the Death Riders didn't. It's shit. You don't want to make your mind up. We make the shit up for you. Went to whooping his ass.
So now, don't you still have that in the tuck now? Because we don't know what he was going to do.
Yeah, but he ended up helping Swerve by dropping Moxley on his head.
Shit, man, my memory is terrible. I didn't realize he went and did that afterwards. I
Yeah,
thought
he
it
hit him
was
with
that.
that. I can't remember what that move is called, where he fucking
Oh,
hangs
dead
him
eye. He hit
upside
the dead
down.
eye. He hit the dead eye on him. You're right. He hit the dead
Yeah,
eye. Wasn't that more provoked though? Because his boys beat him up.
that's what I'm saying. We don't know what he was gonna do, but he ended up helping Swerve. Whether he was doing it to help Swerve or whether he was just trying to get some get back, he ended up whooping their ass, and you wasted it. And Swerve still fucking lost because the Young Bucks came back. Like, are we about to see Swerve and Hangman versus the Bucks?
Maybe you might be honest something. Maybe we see it at Double or Nothing. Yeah, I don't get the Young Bucks side of things. They got, like I said, they got some explaining to do because when this whole Death Riders thing happened, I think the Bucks were still doing the EVP shit, and they were like scared of them. Weren't they
Right.
scared of the Death
Yeah.
Riders? And like
They were
basically,
fucking terrified of him.
I don't know. I mean, I get they're trying to do something different, and I was wondering, like, for some reason, like I had like a sixth sense was tingling. I'm like when the pay-per-view started, I'm like, what have the Bucks been? Like, I kid you not, like I was thinking about that like earlier on in the night because I was thinking about because they popped up at New Japan and I hadn't really seen them since. I'm like, what? And then lo and behold, later on that night, jackasses popped back up.
It's funny how like the lights go out and you automatically start going, who the fuck is this gonna be? Like who would come out and do it? Who would do this? Who would do it? And then when the lights came on and it was Bucks, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was so disappointed. I thought it was gonna be something cool, like a debut or something like that. Maybe Booker T was gonna run up on Swerve's ass, right? Like,
Hey, that would have been the swerve of all swerves, no pun intended.
but
But
yeah, I was. It's like there was so much excitement when those lights went out, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. Like, who's this gonna be? Like, I couldn't even think quick enough to think who it would have been that would have been cool. And then when it was the Bucks, it was like deflation.
you know, it would have been even worse though if Jungle Boy popped up after the lights came back. Where the hell he been at? The whole elite, the only one that's really been there is Okada. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Jungle Boy just pisses me off every time I look at him. I'm like, y'all chose this guy over CM Punk, and he's not even on TV. Like, what the fuck? But whatever. That's Tony for you.
Know what happens when you have a fucking 5.5 hour pay-per-view, however long it is? You
Mm-hmm.
forget that Adam Cole won a singles title on this pay-per-view.
I was actually gonna bring that up. I'm glad he finally got a belt. I mean, hopefully he get elevated and make it like the workhorse belt that everybody wants to see. I think that was a solid first one for Danny Garcia, but is that Daniel Garcia? That's his name, right? I feel
Yeah.
like I'm messing that up. I feel like I'm talking about like a baseball player or something. Yeah, Daniel Garcia. It was a solid first round, but I would like to see him kind of hit another level of popularity before he gets some more gold. And I think Adam Cole is a good guy to have that TNT championship. Um, one other thing though, I wish one thing I didn't like, I wish they would have saved Bowens coming back for TV, or if you had to do it, put it on the actual pay-per-view. It's like nobody's like that was a big moment, and I had to go back and I had a podcast talking about it. I said, "Oh shit," because I don't watch Zero Hour. Very rarely I watch it, and like, why do that on the pre-show? I get trying to draw eyes to buy the pay-per-view, but that's definitely seems like a TV moment.
I mean, Jamie Hayter came back on the pre-show.
Which pre-show? She came back at All In, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that too. But for Dynasty, though, All In, a lot of people, more eyes, even on the pre-show. But even though, like you said, you shouldn't have did that on the pre-show for Jamie Hayter. But definitely, like Bowens, like we haven't seen him in months.
I fucking love Max Caster right now. This dude is so funny and so good. Honestly, I think it's hilarious that he's like, I'm the best wrestler alive and he keeps getting squashed. But like after a while, it's like he's got to start winning eventually, right? Like everybody's whooping his ass. But he is fucking hilarious.
Right. I think how, especially AEW fans, like how IWC and smart they are. I feel like that's gonna catch on that his chant
Oh,
that like so long and doesn't even flow. I think people are gonna start chanting that shit after a while, man.
they were
Some people
chanting
are
it.
already doing it.
Yeah, they were actually doing it this week. And he was, because I was, don't ask me why, but I was watching fucking Zero Hour. Like I was just sitting in my recliner on Sunday, like, all right, let me turn the pay per view on. And I was watching that, and they were chanting it, and he kept telling them like, "No, you got the inflection wrong." Like they were doing the chant, but he was like, "No, y'all are fucking it up," even though they were doing it right. And the more he kept telling them they were doing it wrong, the more they would fucking do it.
Yeah, I think eventually, yeah, and like you said, he's gonna eventually have to start winning. I want to see how they're able to like flip that around and have him start winning. But yeah, like you said, he's entertaining in this role because the claim were getting kind of stale and he was getting a lot of hate online. So start to see him turn it around.
Are there any matches we're leaving out that we haven't hit on?
I think we pretty much hit pretty much everything. Like you said, it had so many matches. We probably did. Oh, I thought the Hurt Business or Hurt Syndicate did what they needed to do.
Yeah, I talked about how MJF hit old boy upside the head with the dynamite ring.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think that is it. There was
I,
only what, two women's matches. There was Mercedes and what's the old girl's name she wrestled?
Julia Hart.
Julia Hart. Julia Hart looked a lot better in the ring. Um,
Yes, yeah.
could be, wrestling Mercedes usually does that to you. And then Tony and Megan Bain. Megan Bain and Tony Storm. I'm a Tony Storm fan. I love Megan Bain. I've been a Megan Bain fan for a while. I was conflicted with who I wanted to win, but the more I thought about it, I was like, they gotta just put the belt on Megan Bain. I know Tony just got it back, but sometimes you just got to go with the momentum of somebody. And though she kicked out of Tony's move at a 1 count and then got up and whooped Tony's ass and got rolled up. I don't know. Now what? You know? And I'm not usually a now what guy. Like I like to watch the story unfold, but it's like looking into the future, like, what the hell can she do now? Fight her again at Double or Nothing?
Maybe. I would like to think, I might be giving them the benefit of the doubt, too much of the benefit of the doubt. I think they're gonna have her jump into something else that's significant. Maybe she goes back and beat Thunder Rosa ass some more. But they I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a dirt sheet story person, but I'm hearing that Mariah may not be back, so they're losing some firepower. If that's the case, I'm hoping she'll come back. But there's been whispers that she's always been a WWE girl at heart, so her contract's gonna be up soon. Um, Losing Britt, and I'm thinking uh, Ruby Soho, she's still, I guess, on maternity leave. No more Soraya, so they're losing some people. I'm hoping that when these 90 days clauses are over with some of these WWE releases, maybe they'll pick up some women because no, you always want to have depth in the women's division. So I know you are a fan of, is it Indy Hartwell or Tegan Knox? Tegan Knox is right. That's her name.
Yeah, I like Tegan Knox for a while. After that second knee injury, she just never did it for me anymore. Like, just felt like she was wrestling in slow mo, which I can understand. You tore your ACL twice. Like, every step you take, you're like, is this it again? But Indy Hartwell would be a good one too. That's a big woman. Like her, and she's not big like Megan Bain, but she's like tall and long. And I think her and Megan Bain could tear it down. Um, you got Jamie Hayter. You can always heat her back up, like you said, Thunder
Isla,
Rosa,
Isla Dawn out there. Bea Priestley.
Harley Cameron. You got. I mean, she's not a
Yeah,
free agent, but I feel like they got something cooking with her and Mercedes.
yeah, and I was a little bit worried after her Mercedes match because they were doing stuff with her in hologram. I don't like that. I know she's like a fun character, but I don't want her going too much down the goofy path. But I
Yeah.
think you might be right with her getting back on track now with her and Mercedes. So keep her hot because the fans love her and she's over.
Anything else you want to get to from Dynasty before we get into the street clothes wrestler of the week?
Now we pretty much hit everything. I thought we were missing something because the pay-per-view was so long, but nah, we pretty much touched on everything. So we can get on over to street clothes if you want to.
Let's do it. Street clothes wrestler of the week for the week of April. What's today? 7th.
Eighth.
Well, yeah, but the week of will be yesterday.
Oh yeah, true.
I believe you're going first, right, DJ?
No, I'm first this week in power rankings. It's your go street clothes.
Well, people are gonna think something's up with as much as I've been picking this woman lately, but I got Bianca Belair.
Oh, okay. What was her ensemble?
She was in all black. She had the little EST across her chest. Not much else was on her. Her and Rhea both were in all black, and Io came out in white just to let you know who the babyface was, I guess. But yeah, she had the black EST garb on, and I'm sure she made herself. She just fucking looks like that shit they used to say about Randy Orton. If you were to build a pro wrestler from the ground up, it would look like. If you build a female pro wrestler, it would look like Bianca Belair.
Eh, no arguing against that. Shout out to Bianca Belair. Hey, I didn't think she could put on some rags and she'll still be able to make that look good.
True.
So I don't know if you were paying attention to context clues of when I posted on the Discord for all listeners out there. Make sure to join the Discord. When I said I already know who my street clothes wrestler of the week is. So I don't know. Can you guess what it was for the context clues of when I posted?
No, I saw you posted it, and I was like, "What?" And then
Man, because I know you Collision is usually a guilty pleasure for you, so I know sometimes you watch live. But I guess this week you weren't watching live.
no, I wasn't. I was at the Atlanta United game Saturday night.
Well, as soon as she came out, I'm like, this is my street clothes wrestler of the week. The manager of Top Flight,
Layla Gray.
Layla Gray.
Yeah.
My God. Whew, I'm not one to fall for thirst traps, but that's it's a good looking lady, Rucker.
Did you go down the rabbit hole of her Instagram after that?
I did not. 'Cause I might be scrolling for a while if I did that. I try to stay away from the Instagram rabbit holes because you get caught down those rabbit holes and waste lots of hours down that. But yeah, she had the silver dress on, the company top flight. So, well, she was feeding more. She's another woman they could throw in there and be more in the mix. Like,
Yeah.
she's battling as a valet right now. She could go.
Former baddie.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, uh, Velvet.
Red Velvet. You
Red
can always
Velvet.
throw her in there too, but they got to have women on ROH also though, and she's the ROH TV champion.
I was just about to ask you that. She's still a TV champion. I guess so. Yeah. Tony got an update for ROH. It was a couple weeks ago. He said they're still working on a TV deal, and I think it could be like right in the sweet spot. It could be a 90-minute show. I think that would do wonders. Like, nobody watches True TV. That's a perfect spot for True TV. Get some eyes to that channel.
It's just naming channels like, don't nobody watch y'all's fucking channel. Put ROH on there.
Yeah, it's in the TNT family. It's so many episodes of what's the improv show, Impractical Jokers. You can put
Impractical
on.
Jokers. Yeah.
There's but so many episodes, replays you can show that. Or ROH on
R Rescue and shit. Put ROH on there.
Exactly. But shout out to Layla Gray. Shout out to Red Velvet. Shout out to all the ladies down there at ROH.
Layla Gray with Top Flight. I wonder why she's not wrestling.
No clue.
She's wrestling on the indies because, like I said, I see her Instagram. She'll wrestle on the indies on the weekends and then go walk out there with Top Flight and make airplane noises during the week.
Yeah.
She just got married also.
Yeah, is it another wrestler? I
believe
I thought I saw her. What's that?
I believe so.
She was talking to somebody on that one show, the Ohio Valley wrestling show they had on Netflix.
Yeah.
Kind of looked like a loser, but I don't want to sound like a hater.
A little bit.
But I don't know if it's that same guy. But yeah. Hey, I don't want to be hating against love.
Yeah, you sound like me and my beef with Zach Wentz.
Hey, man. I always shout out Zach Wentz for being able to pull Gigi. Hats off to him. He's got the juice.
You got to, because never mind. Power rankings. Let's go there and let's get the hell up out of here. We're doing good this week on time.
Why?
It's gonna be long.
What's that?
Next week's gonna be long as shit predicting that big ass WrestleMania card.
Tell me about it, man. My number 5 power rankings of the week. Debuting superstar on SmackDown. Got to win over Nathan Frazier. I got Mr. Ray Phoenix.
My number 5 is going to WrestleMania to take on your boy, LA Knight. Winner of the number 1 contender match gets a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Did he ever think he would be there? Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be there because, like I've said before, he's kind of surpassed Solo on the pecking order already. I know that probably makes Solo feel some type of way, but I thought it was going to be Solo versus Jacob one-on-one at Mania, but I guess they have other plans, but I'm not mad at it.
I love you, Solo.
I guess you got to put Fatu over, too. Later, LA Knight get Money in the Bank.
LA Knight about to catch that thumb.
Yeah, thumb. In the throat.
Well, yeah, where else would you put your thumb?
Hey, I didn't want to say it.
Number 4. My number 4. He didn't wrestle this week, but he had 2 really good showings on 2 shows, and he's just stirring the fucking pot. Mr. Seth Rollins.
Did he wrestle?
No, he didn't. But he's more important than a bunch of people that did wrestle.
Hey, you know, that's you giving a shout out to Seth Rollins just for being the menace that he is. My number 4, I had it up. Oh, you already mentioned this guy earlier. I got your new NXT North American champion, Mr. Ricky Saints.
Oh, wrong thing. What does he do? He was.
Yeah, exactly. There's this little pose over his hand in his head. My number 3, we talked about this earlier when we were going over Dynasty, but I thought this was a really good match, and I feel like Yuta is a little bit underrated. The fans were booing the fuck out of him in his hometown, but
He could stand
they,
that.
they cheered him when he got they cheered him when he got the win. I got your trios champion at number 3, the Death Riders.
My number 3, you just talked about him. New NXT North American champion, Mr. Ricky Saints. My number 2, still your international AEW champion with a big time win. That fucking one winged angel from the middle rope or the top rope, wherever he hit that shit from on Ricochet. That was some dangerous shit right there, buddy. Mr. Kenny Omega.
Kenny, we barely touched on the match earlier, but just if you throw those 3 in the ring, you know they're gonna put on a banger. And Mike Bailey. So I know you're not a fan of people that wrestle barefoot, but Speedball Mike Bailey, I knew the AEW fans would take a liking to him. I didn't think they would, draw to him this quickly though. I thought it'd take a few weeks for, the Speedball chance, but like right away, the Speedball chance. And I always thought the better landing spot was AEW, more so than like throwing him on NXT, because I think he would have did fine over at NXT, but I just don't see him like as a main roster WWE guy. So I definitely think he's in this right spot. And on the other side of things, I think Ricky Starks, I always saw him as a WWE guy, along with some other talents, MJF Kokoff. But yeah, I think both of those guys are on Power Ranking on the spots they need to be in. So shout out to Mike Bailey. And, Ricochet is doing what he needs to do. And we always talk about how he's surprisingly good as a heel. Just married Samantha. I think we talked about it last week, him marrying Samantha. I think it was Wednesday before last, and then on social media. So I'm curious to see what they do with him next now that he lost. Cause didn't he take the pin?
Yeah, he took the pin.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with him next.
This was another production gripe I had. I knew there was one more, and I missed it earlier. There was a point in this match where Omega was outside the ring. He wasn't like laying down. He wasn't down hurt. He was literally standing outside the ring. He had both his hands on the apron. Mike Bailey's about to beat Ricochet, and Ricochet kicks out. And Omega never made an attempt to come in and save his title. And he stood there for probably 3 or 4 minutes, just like, I mean, you catching your breath or what? Lay down. Like, why are you standing in the camera view? Like, we can see you watching Ricochet about to get pinned, and had Ricochet not kicked out, you'd lose your title. And you just, I don't know, man. It was just like, I guess because it was getting late in the night, I was just starting to get annoyed with how many more matches were left. But that shit made no sense to me. Like, you're literally just standing there watching yourself about to lose your title.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. So good eye on that. Where am I at my number 2? I lost track a little bit.
Yeah.
My number 2 is still the AEW Women's Champion, timeless Toni Storm. Like you said, it would have been, interesting to, kind of throw a twist in there and have Megan win. But I'm curious to see who beats Toni now, though, because we have people want to skip the All In. A lot of people are bookmarking her and Mercedes at All In, but they still got a major 5 pay-per-view with Double or Nothing. So I'm curious to see who she goes with there before we even get to All In. And I don't know. If you were to throw something off the top of your head, who you think she goes against at Double or Nothing?
Probably Mercedes.
I
Mercedes is gonna win the Owen Hart Cup, and she's just gonna have all the fucking belts.
Yeah, but they said the winner of both Owen Cups get a shot at All In.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Who you think Tony will face at Double or Nothing?
Oh, Double or Nothing. She might fight Megan Bayne again.
Ooh.
She did barely beat her. Megan Bayne could always come out and be like, I was watching Monday Night Raw and I saw a woman lose her title and threw a temper tantrum, and now she's in the main event. So I'm gonna start turning tables and shit over till I get what I want.
The only way I want to see that happen, and I know you're gonna hate this, is if they do a rematch, and then Camille comes in and costs Megan Bayne a match.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because they're both big and imposing. And
what did Megan Bayne do to Camille?
she tried to basically take her spot.
Nobody told Camille to get hurt.
Oh, that's why I thought she was just done with the company. She's hurt.
Yeah, she's hurt. Is she done with the company? Did you report that?
I'm just hey, don't, if for anybody listening, don't go and say I said it. I was just making shit up off the top of my head. I didn't know. See, I never, like I said, I don't follow like a lot of pages on Twitter, so I didn't know she was hurt.
And that's the thing about AEW too. It's like they don't keep you in the loop of what the fuck is going on with people. Like 1 minute Camille was on TV as Mercedes Muscle one day, and then she's just gone.
But they wrote her off though. They had Mercedes fire her or whatnot. And
Okay.
she was hurt.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, was she really hurt, or was she just wearing a fucking arm brace on TV? An arm sling. Yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean, so was she employed by Mercedes or was she employed by AEW? Because just because Mercedes fires you as your fucking manager doesn't mean you're fired from AEW. Like,
that's true. Yeah, I'm hoping they tie it back up because I'm curious to see. You know, she wasn't the best in ring when she was at NWA, but she was the champion for a long time, and I did think she got better as time progressed, and she's the breakout. She's definitely got the look. So curious, but my number one is still your AEW World Champion. I got Jon Moxley.
my number one is still your AEW World Women's Champion, Toni Storm.
Timeless.
I don't even have Moxley in there because it was just such a fucking clusterfuck of a match.
I actually enjoyed the match besides the Young Buck part of it.
It wasn't even a no DQ match. Like, where'd all this other shit come from?
Towards the end, it did.
They hit the referee in the face with a chair. They threw a chair upside his head. How he making a 3 count?
I didn't even notice that part. I remember they went outside with the ladder and crashed into the table. The swerve stomp. I like that. You had all the interference and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty egregious if they hit the ref in the chair with it. Hit the ref in the face with a chair.
And then he made the 3 count.
Who was it? Bryce Remsburg? Had to be Bryce Remsburg.
I guess Paul.
He's always doing some fuck shit.
It wasn't your girl. I can't.
Aubrey Edwards.
I'm so over her.
Girl Hebner. She's the OG woman referee.
That's not Girl Hebner, is it? I thought the lady from WWE was Girl Hebner.
Nah, when she popped in at the first, was it Double or Nothing? People started calling her Girl Hebner, and Jessica, what's her face, didn't pop up until like 2022 or 2021 in WWE.
She wrestled this past week under a mask.
Yeah, I heard she had some experience in the ring. I hadn't seen any of her stuff, but hey, it's cool that WWE let her do that on the side.
Well, that's it for Power Rankings, EJ. That's it for the show.
Yes, sir.
Anything you got to say before we get up out of here?
Just the usual, man. Shout out to everyone listening, and make sure to run those social media numbers up like Ruckus said at the beginning of the show. Follow us on IG, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. YouTube, subscribe, like.
You can find all of our socials at Linktree/Boot to the Face. Everybody knows how to find the Linktree. Like I said, our merch store is in there if you want to buy some shirts. I know we don't push that much, but TikTok is going and Instagram is going, and yeah, social medias are going to be ablaze next week when I think I might do a lot of little Instagram stories while we're in Vegas.
Yeah.
As long as I remember, I'm not too drunk.
It's a big if.
Yeah, pay attention to our Instagram. you might see it, you might not. There might be some shit in there we might only want to leave up for a couple hours and take down before the wrong people see it. Who knows?
Goodness, maybe.
But for EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been another episode of Boot to the Face. Don't forget, WrestleMania T-shirt week starts next week. Until then, peace.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude